Imagine finding out that your husband of like 7 years is cheating on you. Then imagine finding out you know the person that your husband has been cheating with. What's going on, cousin? And welcome back to the channel. I am your favorite storyteller, Ronnie Michelle, and I am back with another story. Now, this is a story that has been told before. However, I'm retelling it again because you probably missed it. And that this is part 2 to another story that I had already told, and I'm gonna tag it so that you will know, where the first story is, because I'm not one for a long ass introduction. Come on now, you know that ain't me. I asked for you to do a few things. I asked for you to like, I asked for you to comment, and I asked for you to share, because I want you to tell a friend that what? That a story is being told.
Welcome to my stories where the real get told. Love, lies, secrets, yeah, and never get old. From my life to yours, yeah, we keep it raw. Sit back, tune in, you already know.
Imagine finding out that your husband of like 7 years is cheating on you. Then imagine finding out you know the person that your husband has been cheating with. Then find out that the husband has a child with the woman he has been cheating with. Then you find out that you are pregnant. Then imagine losing the most important person in the world to you, your fucking sister. Yes, that's right. Bitch, you found out that your husband was cheating on you with your twin sister, and your niece, his god baby, was your fucking stepdaughter. But you left. You got your life together. You got your life right. You made a whole new family. You had a whole new hug. And baby, when I tell you was happy, you was happy. But for whatever reason, your hometown is keeping you bound. You said, not no more. After your niece ended up calling you desperate to get away from what was going on, and then revealing a secret on top of another secret, you took her back home with you. And you and your husband vowed to love on her, no matter how hard it was. So your sister ended up being just like your fucking mom. Not there for her kids, leaving her kids on their grandma, leaving them to fend for themselves, and for the oldest one to take care of everything. And then she showed up in Chicago. We got to bringing your niece home and taking care of the situation of what happened to her back home. She seemed to be a little relieved. But night after night after night, she woke up with screaming nightmares to the point where y'all was thinking about putting her in therapy. One morning while you was still asleep, your husband got up and he was fixing everybody breakfast. Your niece must have been up with him. So she's sitting at the kitchen table. At least this is what your husband told you had. She's sitting at the kitchen table. She's actually coloring in one of the other little kids' coloring books. And she's playing with y'all triplets. So he said that he was talking to her. She was talking. They was having a good conversation. He was cutting up the triplets' food, so they won't choke. And he ended up setting the food in front of her plate. Then he placed his hand on her shoulder, and she immediately started screaming. So he goes, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" She was like, "No, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me." As if she was having like a traumatic breakdown. And I was looking at your profile, and I saw that you wasn't subscribed. I don't know why. If you are loving these stories, another one is gonna come right after. So go ahead and Okay. I was just making sure. Let's continue. So you end up hearing it, and that made you run into the kitchen to see what was going on. Your niece was sitting in the chair looking scared as hell, as if she just saw Freddy Krueger, as if she just saw E. Motherfucking Pennywise was right there in the corner. You're like, "Are you okay, Jayla?" She says no, and ran back to her room. Oh yeah, y'all made space for her. She ran back to her room. You end up following her in the room, asking her what happened. She says, "I'm sorry. He just touched my shoulder. It was nothing. I think I overreacted." You let her know that it's okay. We all got our own shit that we going through, and we are here to help you go through yours. She like, "Thank you, TT. And tell Uncle I'm sorry. Tell Uncle and I apologize." You tell her, you go tell Uncle Aunt that you apologize. And that's exactly what she did. He tells her, "Niece, you got nothing to apologize about. I overstepped my boundaries, obviously, and I apologize." They both hugged it out, and she was cool after that. Now, summer break was over, so it was time to actually register Jayla in school. You and your husband made sure that y'all moved into a neighborhood with good school for y'all kids. So you knew the school that you were sending her to was a good one. So you end up going to enroll her in school. She ended up meeting a lot of her teachers. I mean, they had a whole fucking open house thing. That motherfucker wasn't cheap. So after she ended up meeting her teachers and going to the classrooms and the counselor, she actually said she was excited for this fucking school year. Good. Especially after moving from Atlanta to Chicago, that definitely was a culture shock for her. But she embraced it pretty well. Let's fast forward a little bit. By the third week of school, you end up getting a phone call from the school principal saying that there was something going on with Jayla, that you needed to be on your way. You dropped everything that you was doing to go and see what's going on with your niece. When you end up making it up to the school, Jayla was sitting right there and she had blood on her shirt. Before you even talk to her, you end up asking her what happened. She says a girl was picking on her, so she beat her ass. You say, you did what, Jayla? She said, a girl was messing with me, so I beat her ass. She thought I was scared of her. I had to prove to her I wasn't. Oh my God, Jayla. As you sitting right there talking to Jayla, waiting on the principal to call you in, his door end up opening up to his office, and you end up seeing a little girl and her mom come out. That definitely was the girl who ass she just beat. Is all over her face. So the mama looking all ugly as fuck at Jayla, like she got some animosity, like she got something, like she mad as hell that her bully daughter got her ass beat. So as they was walking out the door, the principal was calling you into the door. You end up hearing the little girl say a small remark, just saying, we ain't over yet. We can go another round. You hear Jayla, well, bitch, what's up? Because I'm ready now. Look at my face and look at yours and tell me who the fuck gonna win. Jayla, calm. Auntie, she fucking with me. Quit cussing. Calm down. The principal told you to go have a seat in his office, and he took it upon himself to go ahead and escort the young lady and her mom out of the school. You was sitting right there waiting for him, and he ended up coming back in, reintroducing him, because you end up meeting him at the open house anyway. He ended up kind of telling you what went down. Basically, the bully was talking to Jayla, had been messing with Jayla all motherfucking week long, and Jayla pretty much defended herself. The thing was, Jayla threw the first punch. That's why she's in more trouble. So you decided to tell the principal a little bit about what's going on with Jayla, hoping he would have some type of sympathy, hoping he would have a little bit of empathy, hoping he would get her a pay. I mean, it's only been a couple weeks since school started. And that's what he actually did. He said that school just started. He don't want to suspend her. He want her to get to know new people, new friends. He know that she's not from there. But what he wants you to do is take Jayla home for the day. But bring her back fresh and early tomorrow morning, hopefully with a different mindset. Shook his hand. You went out the office, collected Jayla. Y'all went back to the car. Now y'all on the ride to the house. So you telling Jayla, baby, you can't answer everything with fist. You can't fight every time somebody makes you mad. She like, how else I'm supposed to resolve the issue? And that's a problem. You start telling her it's okay to walk away from things. It's okay to let people have the last word. Like, you don't always have to resort to violence or arguing, because you was the calm. Confrontation was never your cup of tea. I had to take a little break for just a second to let you know that I make adult treats. If you are a za lover, then you would definitely love my cookies, my brownies, my cereal bars, my brownie jars. I mean, it comes with so much. What I'll do for you, if you're interested, I'm going to put the link to my website down in the description, okay? Okay, have a good day. So she like, well, look, TT, you handle stuff your way, and I'm going to handle stuff my way. Now, you going to handle it the right way is what we doing. You said that shit with a smile. On the way home, you end up getting a phone call from your husband, you know, Kitty from the coffee shop. He was just calling to check on you to make sure everything was okay. Before you could say anything, you see your niece like, he like, babe, hold on. She like, can you not tell Uncle Antho? Oh, is his opinion of you important? Don't tell him yet. Let me tell him. Let me tell him I got in trouble. Boom. Y'all talking. He ended up asking me if you could stop and pick something up, because you didn't feel like cooking. He didn't feel like cooking, but the motherfucking house had to eat. So y'all end up stopping at Chick-fil-A, got some food for the house, end up going back to the house. Can we fast forward to the next day? So you decided to keep a secret from hubby. Yes, it hurted you, but you wanted Jayla to feel like she had a safe space somewhere. And you wanted her to feel like you was that safe space. I mean, because you was. On your way to drop Jayla off at school, you had a whole fucking speech. Like, please don't get in trouble. You try to walk away. Let people say whatever they want to say. Just try to be on your best behavior. And before Jayla got out there car, she looked back at you and she said, Auntie, I can't make no promises, but I'll try. Have a good day, Niecy Pooh. That's all I can ask for. You going on about your day. You end up heading down to the coffee shop that y'all got up there in Chicago, because you was actually going to be pretty hands-on. You've been at the house with the kids a lot, and you really feel like you need to step away. And if work is going to help you step away from the house, work it is. So you going about your day, everything seems good. You ain't got no phone call, bitch, until Around 12:30, you end up getting a phone call from Jayla's teacher, and that she was mouthing off and talking back to her. I mean, the teacher said she was talking bad as if she was her age. So she ended up putting Jayla on the phone, ended up asking Jayla what the fuck is going on and why the fuck is she talking to an adult woman like that. She said that the teacher came in her wrong. The teacher came in her disrespectful, and she feel like the teacher is picking on her. So she had to stand up for herself since no one else is. So you tell Jayla, what you mean ain't nobody else gonna stand up for you? Your TT is here for you. I brought you all the way from Atlanta to Chicago to make sure that you got a better life. So what do you mean ain't nobody here for you? She was like, look, TT, she was being rude. She was being disrespectful. And I think it's just because I'm new up here and she trying to test me. I just had to tell her what it is. You like, Jayla, you don't talk to a grown up like that. That's not what the fuck we doing. How else am I going to resolve it? Whoo! Ain't nobody warn me about this shit here. Remember, you on the phone with Jayla while she at school because she done went off on a motherfucking teacher. Teacher saying she talking to her like she one of the students. So Jayla like, how else I supposed to resolve the conflict? Jayla, we don't disrespect adults. And we definitely ain't gonna do it because, little girl, I will whoop your ass. You know what? Hand the phone back to the teacher. You end up telling the teacher, do what y'all need to do in order to correct their behavior. She tell you that she gonna send Jayla off to the principal's office. That she'll be receiving 2 days of in-school suspension. You heard Jayla on the other side like, oh, well, shit. Just because I get dropped off at school don't mean I gotta go in school. Oh. Okay. After you end up hanging up the phone with the teacher, bitch, you end up calling Cutie from the coffee shop, your husband, and you call him and you start giving him a rundown on everything that's been going on with Jay. Yes, even the secret that you kept, that she got to fighting at school. Yes, you told, because obviously she need a little male role model. So he ended up saying, don't worry about it, back. I'm finna go and pick her up from school. Me and Jayla, we finna have us a discussion. So you tell him, be easy, because he was a stern father. He was a father who did not play that disrespect bullshit, but he was also kind. He was also sweet. He was also understanding, right? But he did not play when it came to respect for fucking adults. This is what they meant in the movies when they be like, we want vase water. I think that's what they meant. Let's get back to it. Still working at the coffee shop right now, and you did take some time to text your sister-in-law Shantae to check on the kid because she's actually at the house watching the trip. So your son, he is in school. Your baby is in the 4th grade. Your big boy's in the 6th grade now. The triplets will be starting school next year. Girl, life is moving so fast for y'all. Anyway, you end up telling her that you will be home soon, but you had a business meeting with your new business partner named Sincere. She was like, okay, girl, take your the triplets fine. They ain't bothering me. They around this motherfucker terrorizing each other. I'm cool. So y'all both like, bitch, watch my kid. Let's get to this business meeting with Sincere. So you and your man, Cutie from the coffee shop, y'all actually started to like real estate. Y'all started to like Airbnbs. So y'all end up running into this real estate agent named Sincere. She was a regular in y'all coffee shop, and you would see her sitting down, looking at properties, talking to people about properties. So you went over to introduce yourself one day. Y'all got the rapping with each other, and you liked what she had to offer. She liked what you had to offer. And bitch, y'all been business partners for at least the last year. Y'all was working on this project with renovating some old apartment buildings because y'all was motherfucking elevated. He had the perfect apartment, the perfect price, the perfect area so that y'all can make this motherfucking income. Boom, y'all sitting down, having y'all coffee, having y'all meeting, and y'all end up closing a deal on some apartment complexes or whatever. Sincere, like, we should go out and celebrate tonight, bitch. We need to go have a good time. Like, we really closed on damn near $500,000 deal. You like, you know what, bitch, you right. I ain't been out in a while. We're going to go out later on. So she like, okay, cool. Now let's fast forward because now you done made it to the house. Your husband at home, the kids at home, everybody's at home. And your sister-in-law cooked fucking dinner, bitch. Life is fucking good. Do you hear me? So you end up asking your husband, like, what happened with Jayla when he went up to the school? He said Jayla told him that the teacher is very rude and disrespectful to the student. The teacher feels like she could talk to the students any kind of way, cussing them out. And she said that the teacher called her a bitch. The teacher did what now? She said, yeah, the teacher told you need to sit your little ass down, little bitch. I can't believe no teacher would say this to no student. He said Jayla swears that she did. So did you talk to the teacher? That's what you telling little Cutie from the coffee shop. He was like, no, I didn't get a chance to talk to the teacher because she didn't tell me that until we was on the way home. So where is Jayla? He was like, oh, she's up in her room. You knocked on the door before coming in. You asked Jayla, you like, babe, everything okay? Is everything good? And she's like, no, not really, because I'm getting sick of everybody trying to make me out to be the problem. I am not the problem. Everybody else is the fucking problem. People like to pick on me and mess with me and piss me off. We gonna bring that down, baby. I'm sorry, TT. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm just tired of life. No, please don't say that. Y'all talked for a little while. Y'all hugged. You let her get out her emotions. And she went back to doing her homework. And you told her that dinner was done. You said, I already ate, TT. After you left out her room, you went back downstairs to babe. And you like, babe, I think we should get Jayla counseling. So you was invited to Atlanta to go to your niece's graduation. You went to your niece's graduation. She ended up spilling the beans about some shit that ended up happening under her mama's care. She was assaulted. Now, being the auntie that you is, unconfrontational, loving, caring, you decided to take your niece with you to Chicago because Atlanta just wasn't it. So let me tell you what I ain't tell you in the last part. So with everything going on, it honestly seems like your niece is having a very hard time adapting. She seems angry all the time. So you end up going to your man, get it from the coffee shop, telling him that you think that Jayla should go into counseling. He told you, baby, I agree with you 100%. She probably should go to counseling. However, we don't have custody of her. We constantly spending money on a child that could be taken from us at any fucking moment. So you're like, what you mean? He's like, we ain't got no social security card, no birth certificate. The only reason why they enroll her in school is because you paid for 2 semesters up. You know they weren't gonna turn down their money. He was like, they calling us. They done sent us. They're asking us for her document and everything. Before we continue to spend money on these, we need to go about it the right way. So you're like, baby, yeah, I agree. But that means we're gonna have to go to Atlanta. So Jayla must have heard y'all talking in the kitchen, bitch, because she ended up popping up like a ghost in a motherfucking night. Talking about if I'm so much of an issue, you could just send me back to Atlanta. You don't have to take care of me. Like, I'll be good in there. I know how to fend for myself. And I was looking at your profile and I saw that you wasn't subscribed. I don't know why. If you are loving these stories, you know another one is gonna come right after. So go ahead and Okay. I was just making sure. Let's continue. Look, girl, shut the fuck up. So she's still standing right there with her arms. You like, you could take that motherfucking sass up out your attitude because ain't nobody said you was something. We around here trying to help. We just want you to be better. We just want you to feel like you got somebody to talk to that you may not know, that may not be, that you may be able to release some shit that you don't want us to know. So you could take your little ass back up in your motherfucking room and get out of a grown person's conversation. She stumped out. Did y'all follow behind her? Fuck no. You can let her have it. So the next morning, you end up going to Jayla's school before you had to go and meet the folks that was doing the reno on the apartments that you and Sincere had closed down. She like, you getting out? Yeah, I'm getting out. I got some business to tend to up here. You just take your little ass to class. Attitude, having ass little girl. She got out, closed the door, walked up the hallway, went to class, and you end up going to the front office because you actually wanted to talk to the counselor. When y'all went to the open house, they said that they had counseling for, all of the kids, whatever they go through, the counselors were there to help. So you end up meeting with a counselor. It was a woman counselor. You end up telling her a few of the things or some of the things that Jayla had been going through. Hopefully that she can help. She was like, oh yes, I will meet with her like 2 to 3 days a week. I pull her out of class. So you like, okay, that is great. You end up leaving out. You headed to meet the people. You got the price of the rent-up, and you end up going back home. So when you went back to the house, you end up making a couple phone calls because your husband was right. Kitty from the coffee shop. He was right. You needed to get your affairs in if you wanted Jayla to stay there with you permanently. So you end up calling your ex-husband's mom since she was the one who last had custody of Jayla and her siblings. So she ended up answering the phone. Sounding like she was a little sick. You end up asking her, how she doing, what's going on with her. When was the last time she saw Toodles? So she like the last time she seen Toodles was a couple months ago. She be in and that. The only time she really see her is when she needs some money or something. So you like, have she asked about Jayla? She said, girl, she ain't giving a damn about none of them kids. So you like, where is Jayla's sibling? So she like, they with their dad. She said she was getting too old to take care of kids. She just let them go with their dad. She ended up mentioning your ex-husband, saying that he had asked about you and Sean and Jayla, wanted to know how everything was. He was going to be getting out in a year. You pretty much rolled your eyes and just changed the course of that whole fucking conversation. She like, I'm happy you called me. I got a new phone. I ain't had it, but now I can lock in. He was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. So do you got Jayla's social security card and stuff like that? She was like, no, you will have to come down here to get that. Damn. Got to make a stop in Atlanta. Honestly, you believe that you and your husband can give your niece a good life. Yeah, she was going through some yeah, she had a lot of trauma to work, but who does? After having to talk with her school counselor and coming up with a schedule for her to get some free counseling and the counseling you think she needs, you headed off to go to the reno with your business partner Sincere. So while y'all was there, y'all end up getting the estimate, y'all end up knowing that y'all could pay for it, and you start looking for some plane seats because you gotta go to Atlanta to get your niece documentation. Boom. Your business partner Sincere, we'll call her Sin for sure. She like, everything okay, son? You like, Yeah, everything. She was like, I noticed that you was a little distant. You was a little off while they was talking about the S. She like, are you sure everything cool? She was like, we more than business partner, bitch. We friends. So you tell her that you got to go to Atlanta because you got to handle some things about your knee. She was like, what's going on? So you end up giving her a little tea, but not too much. She was like, shit, I go to Atlanta with you because you honestly did not want to go by yourself. You like, are you sure? She was like, yeah, we got everything squared away here. I ain't been to Atlanta in a while, and I could use some shopping in Atlanta. Plus, shit, bitch, I might meet my husband there. Bitch, I promise you, your husband is not in Atlanta. So you went ahead and you booked 2 plane tickets to go to Atlanta next Wednesday. So she like, bitch, we never went out for that drink last night. We never went out and celebrated this $500,000 deal that we closed. You like, bitch, tonight we celebrate. She was like, okay, business partner, I'm gonna hold you to it. And y'all end up going y'all separate ways. So you went on about your day until lunchtime. You end up stopping at a little local spot, getting yourself something to eat, and then you was scrolling on your phone. Now, while you scrolling on your phone, you end up noticing that you got one message that you have not read. However, the message is in your request box. So you open it up. It was Toodles. So you open up the message and Toodles like, bring me back my fucking daughter. I know you took her. Bitch, that's kidnapping. That's not your child. I'm going to call the authorities. Bitch, it was like 20 to 30 fucking messages. You ain't sit there to read all of them. You end up scrolling down to the last one. She asked you for $10,000 and you can keep her daughter. Is this bitch trying to sell her fucking daughter to me? You close the messages without responding and honestly without opening them up for real. And you end up taking your ass to the house because you knew husband was there. You get to the house and you immediately run, Bae, where you at? Come here. And you end up showing him the messages that Toodle sent you. He was like, what the fuck? I told you, son. I told you she could be taken from us at any time. So you like, keep reading. Go down. $10,000. She trying to sell us Jayla for $10,000? He like, hell no. $10,000 back? No, ma'am. We will take her back to her mama. So you end up telling him that you got 2 tickets booked to go to Atlanta to get, her documentation and shit. He was like, well, book 3 so that she can go down there with you. Because we not paying no $10,000. We don't buy fucking kids. That's against the fucking law. You like, babe, you know what's going on. She just wants some money. He said, I don't give a fuck, son. Take her back her daughter. Babe, take her back her daughter. So after you end up opening up that message from your sister and showing your husband, Kitty from the coffee shop, he told you, no ma'am. He said, no ma'am. We ain't buying Jayla for no 10K. Take her back to her mama. And you had to respect your husband's wish. So while you sitting in your home, you really just sitting in there thinking, like, man, I really don't want to take her back home. You end up getting a phone call. And guess who it was? Of course it was Jayla's school. They end up calling you, telling you to come down to this because Jayla was caught fighting in the girl's bathroom. This girl. You end up telling them that you will be on your way and you end up leaving out of the house. Not before telling husband what was going on. So you end up getting to the school and you see Jayla sitting in the motherfucker, knuckles looking all ate up with a facial expression like, yeah, I did it. So what? You walk right past her ass without saying, and you went straight into the principal's office. He ended up telling you this is Jayla's 3rd time getting in trouble at that school. He's gonna have to suspend her for a few days. You tried to talk him out of it, but he was firm on his motherfucking work. Jayla ass had to go. He gave her a 3-day suspension and said he'll see her next week. You walked out with the paper in hand and walked right past her ass again without saying a word. Of course she knew to follow. So on y'all way back to the house, you like, Jay, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you always being physical with her? Why do you always feel like you gotta resolve your issue with a fight? So she was like, the girls came to me when I was in the bathroom asking me if I wanted to go 10 seconds and I wasn't finna go turn it. I'm not no weak person. So you mean to tell me that you feel like you gotta fight in order to prove that you strong? She like, you gotta fight out here for what you want. No, ma'am. No, you do not. Sometimes things just come to, and you need to learn how to walk away from confrontation. Like, that's not the answer for everything, Jay. And you looking at her while you talking, and she really looking unfazed. She end up changing the subject. That counselor lady called me to her office today. Do you know anything about that? You like, no, I don't know nothing about it. She like, okay, TT. Okay, Jayla. Y'all made it to the house. She ended up going home and you followed her in there. You end up telling her that next Wednesday y'all was gonna go back to Atlanta. And she was like, me too? You like, yeah, you too. So she like, oh, so you sending me away? No, your mama asked for you. My mama asked for me? You like, yeah. She was like, is she clean? You like, I don't know. But she wants you to come back home. And that is your mom. So she like, so I'm not gonna be up here with y'all no more. The way you acting, I don't think you want to be. She was like, it's not like. You tell her, look, we love having you up. We love having the extra. We love just your presence being here, but your mom wants you to go back home. Okay, TT. So Bay in the front playing with the kid. Dunn is in his room playing on his video. So you went into the kitchen to start preparing dinner. Bay ended up putting it on Miss Hurston for the kid, and he came into the kitchen with you. He ended up asking you, like, is everything good with Jayla? Like, you know, what's going on? You end up telling him that you told her that she's going back to Atlanta. He like, how she take? He was like, I really don't know. Like, I really can't read into it, but she got in trouble in school today, you know, when I told you. And I don't really want her to think I'm sending her away because of it. So he like, you ain't sending her away. You taking her back home. So something like, is that your way of trying to make me feel? He like, no, that's the truth. You taking her back home. So you ask Bay, like, you know, where's she gonna go? Where's she gonna stay? Like, I don't think my sister's, but like, I don't really want to just leave her out there not knowing what's gonna happen. He like, look, Sonny, you love your family, and I know this shit, but you can't keep her here if her mama want her. What if she try to say you kidnapped? Like, you gonna go to jail and I'm gonna lose you? He's like, no. Just do what that woman wants you to do with her daughter. Or you stop stirring the pot. You like, babe, what if I file for temporary custody of Jayla? He like, son, but what if I just do it like an emergency temporary custody for her? Babe, I don't know where she gonna be. I know her mom ain't got nowhere to stay. The grandmama don't. Like, I can't do my niece like that, babe. That's my fan. I wouldn't do you like that. I hope that wouldn't nobody do our kids that. I wouldn't do your sisters like it. Like, that's my family too. So he let out a deep ass sigh, like, God damn, Sonny, like, you ain't leaving me no fucking choice. Like, man, look, as long as you go through the legal system and doing the right way, then I'm cool. He like, she honestly a sweet girl. Like, I ain't got no problem with her being here. He like, despite all the bullshit that she doing, but like, she a sweet girl. So you end up giving him a kiss and excitement or whatever, and y'all end up eating dinner together. Y'all had good conversations that night. Y'all even end up playing a fucking game random. So anyway, the night before y'all was supposed to go to Atlanta, you end up going into Jayla's room to tell her to pack some clothes. So she like, look by her suitcase was already packed. She was like, look, I'm used to it. Don't nobody want me. Everybody sends me off. Everybody abandons me. And you could tell, like, that's her trauma talk. You end up going to sit by her on the bed. She was scrolling on her phone. You end up taking her phone because, baby, you need to pay me some motherfucking. I'm not sending you off. Your mom asked for you. We are happy to have you. We want you here. That's why we brought you here. Like, she didn't crack a fucking smack. You grabbed her hands like, look, Jayla, you are loved here. And if I could keep you, I would. She was like, but you can though, right? I heard you and Uncle Aunt in the kitchen talking, and I heard you say something about temporary custody. You handed her phone, and you left up out the room. Your husband had put the kids to bed. You went in and checked on Sean and kissed him goodnight. And when you went into your bedroom, Bay had set a whole fucking movie. He had candles lit. He had music. He had the lights down low. He had baby oil on the bedside table. You like, babe, what's all this? He was like, baby, if I'm gonna send you down to Atlanta, I gotta make sure you feel good when you walk out that door. So you start smiling because you know what time it is. It's Mr. Nasty Time. And boy, did y'all have, whoa, the next morning you end up waking up, bitch, you were refreshed. You end up going to wake Jayla. You end up calling to make sure that Sin was ready. And she like, bitch, I'm already at the airport. Damn, time to go to Atlanta. You came to Atlanta with some intent, bitch. You got some shit planned and some shit to do. So you got right off the plane, ready to go handle some motherfucking business. So you, Sin, and Jayla then finally made it to Atlanta. Y'all end up going downstairs to the budget car place to get y'all a rental car with them. You had already had it reserved. You end up getting to the booth, and the girl end up turning around in the booth. It's one of your old high school friends from when you stayed in Atlanta. Her name was Jasmine. He was like, Sonny, I have not seen you since high school. How have you been? End up coming out the booth, giving you a hug. You know, last time she heard you was with your ex-husband. So she like, how is everything? How are you doing? How have you been? All the time, you know, they getting the registration and shit ready for the rental car. So you just telling her like, I've been good. You know, me and my family, we stay in Chicago now. She was like, oh, your family, you got kids? You was like, yeah, girl, I got 4 kids. You start, you know, going through your phone, showing her pictures and shit. Like, she was like, bitch, you got some triplets? You like, yeah, bitch, I got triplets and I got my son, Sean. He was like, damn, bitch, you been putting in some work. You got 4 motherfucking kids. So you end up asking her, like, how many you? Bitch, gonna say 6. Well, bitch, you been putting in more work than me. Y'all pretty much just laughed it off. She ended up giving you the registration and the key to the rental. Y'all end up heading to the Airbnb. On the way there, seeing like, oh, I'm so happy to be out of Chicago. It's so good to see some new shit. I ain't been down here in forever. And you look in the rearview mirror and you see Jayla just looking out the window, the bitch, like she does not want to be there. So y'all end up pulling up to the Airbnb and shit, get your shit out, go in the house. Seeing like, oh my God, bitch, this is a nice Airbnb. Where did you find it? Not trying to brag or boast, but you like, oh, this is my Airbnb. I mean, y'all do rental properties together anyway. She like, this yours? Girl, this look good. Like, who decorated it? You like, husband, you know, kid from the coffee shop. You like, damn. And he got taste like, y'all are a match made in fucking heaven. We are. We are. So Jayla ended up going into one of the bedrooms. She ended up just throwing her shit up in there. And again, looking like she does not want to be. So you went in the room to check on Jayla. Like, everything okay? She like, I really don't want to be back. Like, the vibe in Atlanta is just so different for me now. It was like, I understand, but we're not going to be here long. She was like, so you taking me back with you? I don't know, Jayla. We gonna try. So you like, shit, is y'all hungry? Seem like, hell yeah, I can. So you end up asking them like, is y'all hungry? Seem like, hell yeah, bitch, I can eat. Jayla like, hell yeah. I mean, yes, TC, I'm very hungry. So y'all end up grabbing something to eat, and while y'all sitting at the table waiting on y'all food, you end up telling Jayla that y'all was gonna stop by her grandma's house or whatever. She was like, my grandma's house? Oh, which grandma? Well, damn sure I ain't talking about my mama. I'm talking about your dad's mom. She's like, okay. Y'all food end up coming out. Y'all ate y'all food when y'all end up stopping by Jayla's grandma's house. You got out the car. Jayla was still sitting in the back seat. You gonna knock on the door or whatever. Her grandma end up coming to the door like, Sonny, it's so nice to see you. Open the door fast as hell, gave you a hug. Like, Jayla with you? Yeah. You wait for her ass to get out the car. She ended up getting out the car. She stood right there by the door for a minute. And you like, girl, come on. Your grandma want to see you. You like, what's wrong with her? Nothing. So she ended up walking up there or whatever. You end up giving her a hug and a kiss. And I'm going to leave you here with your grandma for a little. And she grabbed your shirt. She was like, you coming back, right? Hey, look, what did we talk about before we left and came here? But you coming back though, right? I understand that, but you coming back though, right? Jayla, let go of your TT shirt. I'll see you later. End up giving her a hug, and you went ahead and you went back to the B&B. So you end up contacting a lawyer or whatever, trying to see if you can get an emergency custody in her, and he end up telling you he'll let you know, he'll get back with you. Seeing like, bitch, what is it to do out here? Like, bitch, it's the A. There's plenty of shit to do out here. So you end up hitting up some of your friends from the A because, bitch, yes, you still kept in contact with some girls from the motherfucking A. You had a friend named Akira, Marlise, and Samiri. We're gonna call her Miri. You end up hitting them up, asking them if they want to go out for drinks because you was back in the city. Bitch, they was so fucking happy to hear from you. They like, hell yeah, we want to go out for drinks. Where we going? You let them know, like, bitch, meet me at the sidebar. They were like, oh, bitch, yes. That's a good. So you and Sin end up getting ready to go out to the sidebar. And y'all met them there. Y'all was there for a little while. Party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit, and y'all was having fun. So after that little spot or whatever, y'all end up going back to the Airbnb because again, you ain't seen your bitches in a long time. Y'all end up going back to the B&B to do a motherfucking nightcap or whatever. So y'all end up pulling up, baby. Shots was still going on. You end up cooking some food, and y'all end up just talking. So my Lisa like, when the last time you seen your sister? Like, oh, bitch, it's been, I got her daughter Jayla. So Akira like, girl, I seen your sister not too long ago, and not to be rude or nothing, but that bitch was not looking good at all. So you end up mentioning to them, just trying to get their opinion about the whole situation. Letting them know that your sister want Jayla back from you. So Akira like, hell no, like she gonna be on the motherfucking street. Your sister ain't got nowhere to live. Mary like, bitch, she'll be on the street with that woman. Like, don't do her like. Don't leave her here. So let's go ahead and skip to the next day. Because you end up hearing from y'all lawyer, and he told you to get dressed, be at the courthouse in about 3 hours because he was able to get an emergency hearing. So you end up hurrying up to get dressed. You went through Jayla's suitcase and you found her some clothes. You headed to her grandma's house to pick her up. And bitch, when I tell you, y'all was at the office on time, y'all was at the courthouse on time. You end up seeing the lawyer, you waving and shit. He's like, come on, I got everything I need. Like, are you sure you got everything? End up opening up his photo, bitch. He got pictures of your sister at this spot, this little house. He got pictures of your sister on the street. Pretty much got evidence showing that your sister is incapable of taking care of her daughter and that her daughter will be best in your care. And guess what? Y'all fucking won the case. After the court hearing, you end up calling back, little cutie from the coffee shop, telling him that you won custody legally and Jayla is coming back with y'all. He was like, oh, baby, that's good news. As long as we did this shit the right way, I don't mind Jayla being here at all. So you end up driving through this well-known neighborhood where people like Toodles will probably be. And to show what she think, you end up seeing your sister sitting on some steps. You end up stopping in front of the house and you just sat there for 1 minute. Jayla end up looking out the window like, is that my mom? And so you won the emergency custody hearing and you are now the guardian of your niece. Your niece is now in your motherfucking case. You won. Despite of what her parents did, you was not about to leave your niece in Atlanta and not know what's going on. Because you remember how it felt to be abandoned. Your own mama left you and your sister to go pursue her street dreams, leaving y'all in the care of y'all grandma. Unfortunately, y'all grandma was no longer here. So who was going to take care of your niece? The streets? Hell nah. You end up driving up this well-known street for the shit that your sister do, and you end up spying your sister sitting on the steps at one of them houses. You end up pulling over, and you took a deep side, bitch, because you was contemplating on if you wanted to get out or not. Your niece end up looking out the window. Is that my mom? You like, yeah. You immediately felt your niece's energy shift. You immediately felt her aura shift. She looking at you like, should I go say something to her? That's your mama. If you want to go out and say something to your mama, go say something to your mama. That didn't mean that you had. So she asked you, can you go with me? I guess. So both of y'all end up getting out the car and y'all start walking towards Toodles or whatever. She ended up embracing her mama with a huge hug, and her mama embraced her and hugged her back. She looked up at you. She like, what you came here for? To judge me? You like, now you know me better than that. I just came up here to tell you that Jayla is in good hands. Jayla like, yeah, Mom, TT gonna be taking care of me. I'm gonna be moving up to Chicago with her, and you know, everything gonna be okay. I can't wait till you get better. She like, yeah, looking high as a motherfucking kite. So you like, Toodles, where is Asia? Where is Germany? Where your other two daughters? So she like, they with their daddy. Who the fuck is they daddy? If you ain't never met their daddy before a day in your life. She end up giving you the daddy's name. She like, one of their names is Jimmy Jones, and the other one is Carlos Tim. Girl, they fine. You ain't got to worry about my kid. But I just took... After the little conversation between Jayla and her mama, y'all end up going back to the car and y'all headed back to the Airbnb. And no cap, Jayla had a smile on her. You ain't seen her smile like that in a little minute. Like, how you feel? I feel good, honestly. This the best I have felt in a long time. So you smiling, you like, that's good, niece. Happy that you feeling good. So y'all get back to the house or whatever. Since still at the Airbnb, bitch, getting ready to put on some clothes. You like, oh, what you finna get ready to get into? Who you know down here? She like, I told you I got some folks down here, but I'm finna get ready to go find me a property. Since a motherfucker cannot find no husband down here, I might as well give me some money. And you like, bitch, facts. I'm telling you, your husband is not in the A. She was like, well, there's some motherfucking money in here. I'm finna go look at this property in Buckhead. During the car ride back to the Airbnb, I forgot to mention that you end up hitting up your lawyer to see if they could find out any information about Asia and Germany's dad, Jim Jones and Carlos Tim. He ended up finding some last known addresses for the both of them. So you end up telling Jayla, hey, let's take a shower, let's change some clothes, and let's go check on your sisters. She was happy as a motherfucker. Y'all end up putting on some clothes, and y'all end up making our first stop at Jimmy Jones' house. You end up knocking on the he like, who is you? You end up seeing your niece Asia. She like, Jayla. You like, oh, you Jayla. Yeah, that's my sister. So he ended up opening up the door, welcoming y'all in, and you end up seeing that Asia was being loved. She was being well taken care of. Her hair was done. She looked so fucking happy. Man, the last time you saw Asia, she was a little toddler, so of course she did not remember who you were. But you introduced yourself as her auntie. Y'all end up in the nether, and y'all went to see the other niece named Jayla with her daddy, Carlos. And again, she like she being well taken care of. She looked loved, her hair done, and everybody seemed like they are where the fuck they are supposed to be. Carlos, though, end up asking you, had you seen too? And you told him, I just seen her, you know, wherever she was. And he was like, damn, that's so fucked up. But, you know, I love my baby girl, though. You and Jayla end up going back to the Airbnb, bitch. You was tired as a motherfucker. You told her you needed to take a nap. And when you got up, I was going to go out and get them. And that's exactly what ended up happening. To pretty much celebrate, now she will have stability into her life. Y'all ordered y'all food. And as y'all was getting ready to walk out of the restaurant, Jayla grabbed you and gave you a hug. Thank you, TT. Thank you. I promise I'll be better. So, Sincere, you know your friend, your rental. Okay. Sincere had met you and Jayla back at the Airbnb. She ended up telling you that she ended up closing on the deal of that condo that was in Buckhead, and she was actually going to stay in Atlanta for a few more days. So you end up telling her, you know, it's cool. You can stay at the Airbnb. Just let me know when you leave and, you know, lock it. She like, bitch, I got you. So let's skip ahead because you and Jayla end up catching a flight back and y'all went back to Chicago. And when y'all pulled up to the house, Jayla like, oh my God, it feels so good to be back home. And honestly, it felt real good to hear her say this. Husband must have seen you coming because the door was already unlocked when y'all got there. When I tell you your kids must have missed you, yeah, they noticed that mommy wasn't there. Sean ended up coming up, giving you a hug, telling you how much he missed you, giving Jayla a hug, telling Jayla how much he missed her. I mean, y'all were now a family of what? 7? Jayla playing with the triplet. She talking to Sean, telling him how she had a good time in Atlanta, telling him about the food, and she even got him something when y'all end up going to the mall. So husband, you know, cute from the coffee shop, he looking at you like, babe, what the fuck happened on this? Like, she happy as hell. So he get up give you a hug, give you a kiss, and he followed you into the kitchen. So you end up telling him how Jada saw tooth, how, she gave you a hug. She said that she would do better. He was like, baby, that's amazing. Y'all pretty much talked about the trip. So you end up coming out the kitchen. You like, who want to go to Astro Fun World? Everybody screaming, me. And that's exactly how y'all end up ending y'all night. Okay, so let's skip ahead for 30 days. So Jayla had been going to counseling in her school, and you were getting good reports that Jayla was actually attending. She wasn't getting no trouble. You weren't getting no more motherfucking phone calls. And you was thinking that Atlanta trip is more than likely what she needed. You end up picking up a new hobby. You was taking Pilates with a couple of your friends. Elisa, who was your new assistant, because the real estate business was booming and y'all coffee shops was doing well as fuck. And you was trying to be a mom and a wife and a good TT, bitch. You needed a little help. And your other friend named Shaniqua. Y'all been taking Pilates for the past 30 days. And it looks like it's paying off. So one day after Pilates, you end up going to that, and you wasn't expecting baby to be, especially because the new nanny that y'all hired had took the triplets out to the park. Yes, bitch. Your sister-in-laws had finally found a job in their field, so they was no longer being paid to be on it. Anyway, so you went and hopped in the shower. You end up hearing the bathroom door, and then of course he announced this because you know how his motherfucking wife is. So y'all talking while you in the shower. He asking you how Pilates was. You're saying that we good, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Having conversation. So then it end up getting quiet. So you end up looking out of the shower curtain because you didn't hear the door open. He end up pulling out your box of tampons and sending them bitches on the scene. He was like, well. Look how history repeats itself. You're like, babe, what the fuck is you talking about? This is an unopened box of tampons, and I'm gonna need you to take one of these, please, ma'am. Take one of what? Girl, why the fuck this man pull a fucking pregnancy test out his damn jacket pocket?
Welcome to my stories where the real get told. Love, lies, secrets, yeah, and never get old. From my life to yours, yeah, we keep it raw. Sit back, tune in, you already know.